All right, folks, welcome back to episode numero 3. See, I think you're supposed to say numero tres, right? After you, okay. All right, it's okay though. But today we have a very special guest that I'm excited to have. She is none other than the Jordan Benston.
Not the.
Yes, because the always takes it up to another level, and I feel like it is just very fitting. It is very befitting. Okay, it's very befitting. There's only one.
I received that.
Okay, and so I'm going to tell you a little bit about who Jordan is, what she has done, and then obviously we're going to learn a little bit more about her. But Jordan is the CEO and founder of the Oracle Media, which is a Black female-owned, heavy on the Black female-owned, full-service production company that specializes in creating custom curated digital and linear and editorial content. Oracle Media prides itself on the results, okay, through its team of professional and dedicated established crew members who are all Black and brown. I just want to keep on driving that in.
Drive it.
It was founded in 2019, obviously by CEO and creative director Jordan J.B. Benston, and brings a rich background in media production, having worked with some of the top names in the business, including Essence, BET, VH1, MTV, and before venturing off into entrepreneurship. Since its inception, Oracle Media has helped to produce out-of-the-box content for the likes of TNT, Dick's Sporting Goods, State Farm, McDonald's, I1 Digital, and Disney and Scape, as well as worked with a plethora of A-list talent, including Queen Latifah, Taraji P. Henson, Gabrielle Union, and Marsai Martin, to name a few. So, everyone, I just want you to give a round of applause wherever you are sitting, wherever you are listening, for Jordan J.B. Benston.
Oh my gosh.
How does it feel hearing about you through the lips of another human?
Weird. I'm not gonna hold you. It's weird.
Weird.
I don't know that I'm ever gonna get used to it.
Yeah.
So it's very weird.
You've done a lot. You've accomplished a lot. And obviously, I'm sure there's more that you want to accomplish. Yeah. So just a little background on how I met Jordan. I was an intern at BET, and you were I don't know what you would call it, production associate.
Production associate, the made-up name of a role that they give you because they don't want to call you an assistant, but they don't want to call you a coordinator. So it's like, let's call you an associate.
Yeah, because y'all were doing a lot of work. Y'all definitely were doing a lot of work. And it's just humbling to see, and I'm going to share a story. I purposely did not tell you about this beforehand.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared.
But no, don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's actually a very dope story. So, Ashley, I remember one time had shared with me, and this is nothing that's going to be crazy or anything. Okay. But I remember I was just asking about everybody that was in the room, and she was like, that girl right there, that girl got a story. She's a hustler right there. She's a hustler. And she was just talking about how and I'll let you expound on it, but pretty much how you were able to get that position at BET as an associate, and the hustle and drive, which is obviously the words for today. Your words are hustle and drive. And she shared about that. Your journey. And I'll let you talk about it so you can, expound on it. And I was like, wow, that was so, obviously, as an intern, you hear certain things and it's encouraging because, you look around the room and you realize everybody has a story and a journey to get to a space where the competition is thick.
Yeah.
And the sacrifice that you're willing to make your dreams come true says a lot about your character. So I want you to kind of expound on how you got your foot in the door.
Yeah. Nepotism, honestly. So my cousin was working at BET at the time. Mm-hmm. She was like, if you could come to New York for an internship for the summer, would you come do it? I'm a sophomore in college, going into my junior year. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. Mm-hmm. So I fill out my paperwork. They're like, I wasn't an interview or nothing. It was just like, yep, you're in, come. And I was like, okay. I had a week. Mm-hmm. Bought a ticket, got my stuff.
Wow.
got to Long Island, where I was staying at for the summer. I did my internship, and I just remember it was like I was doing something during the internship, and one day somebody was like, "Well, I don't care whose cousin you are. You're gonna papa like you're not getting no special treatment." And I just remember like that like really, really stuck with me because that wasn't what I wanted. Like I always just wanted to be myself. Like I didn't want to be
like
oh, this is
someone
somebody's
else.
cousin. Oh, this is somebody's niece. Oh, this is like I wanted to be able to like I wanted you to know who Jordan was. Like if you needed something done, I wanted it to be Jordan. So my internship I had it that summer. I finessed my way to work BET Awards that summer because this was when the internships was unpaid.
Oh, wow.
They wasn't giving us no money. It was like, oh, you can get college credit. Let me sign a sheet to say that you were here. So I have no money that summer.
Wow.
I got my Pell Grant. I applied for a Pell Grant for summer school since they like said it was a course and you can get college credit. So I signed up so I could get like $1,000 of a Pell Grant to like last me for the summer. Finessed my way to LA to work BET Awards as a PA that summer. I don't even know how I did that or how I afforded a plane ticket to LA, stayed with my cousin in our hotel room, worked the awards, and then came back, went to college, finished school, and I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I didn't know that the world of production existed. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that I was there and I was good.
Right.
It felt like I felt like I was doing something. I felt like, oh yeah. This is what I wanted to be doing. I'm a pre-law major. That's what my degree is in pre-law and philosophy. Nothing to do with production and how you make a show. Even though it does
a little bit with contracts and stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
It has come a little full circle.
Right,
that I
right.
like, you know, when it comes to negotiating and when it comes to me like logically thinking and figuring things out, I can accredit that to pre-law. So finished college. I was like, I'm out. I'm going to New York. From North Carolina. I bought my flight and I was like, all right. So I graduated in May. I think I moved to New York maybe like August. I was working at Express in the mall in Long Island, Roosevelt Fields. It was a good time. It really was not. I really hated it. It was just, but one thing about it is I was going to have a check. Like I didn't want to be here and not have the money.
Yeah.
I email people every single week. People that I intern with, I would be like, hey, I'm here in New York.
Right.
I'm here. I need a job. Hey, I'm here. I was still working at Express. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I need a job. So, you know, they would like give you like PA things to do for like a day. So it's like, oh, come work on this like singular show for a day. Or I think I did like an MTV Unplugged one time. And it was like an MTV Unplugged. Come do it for a day. But every time I did something for a day, I would update my resume.
Right.
And resend it. Like, hey.
Right.
I was just able to PA for MTV Unplugged, just sending you my updated resume. And I look back on like those emails now and I'm like, yo, I know I was getting on their nerves. I was pressed. I was sending I had a cadence that I sent the emails at the same time. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Right.
Like I'm in your inbox. You don't got to reply, but I'm in your inbox.
Right.
I know you're going to see that I'm in your inbox.
Right.
I ended up getting a job at VH1, Big Morning Buzz Live. Like that was my first like full-time after graduation job before I got to BET and spent like 4 years at BET. And I was just like I knew that this was what I wanted to do.
Right.
Like you couldn't tell me that I was going to do anything any different. I'm like, no, I'm going to New York and it was like, I'm going to New York and I'm going to work for BET.
Right.
Like that was it.
Oof. Talk about manifesting. And obviously, like I said, you know, the words for you specifically for this episode is hustle and drive. I was really trying to decipher between the two of which one to really give you. But I'm like, it kind of relates to both.
Yeah.
So then what I looked at was like, okay, well, what really differentiates the two? You know, and like hustle is obviously like more so external in terms of like, you know, what people physically see. But then the drive is internal and it's what people don't see, what actually keeps you going so that you can, you know, like really hustle. So I want you to just kind of sort of like expound on that before we go a little bit further into the other things that you've done. But like, since we're talking about the beginning, you know, how has that like hustle and drive pretty much gotten you to where you are now?
I was persistent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know where the drive came from, but like, if I was gonna come on your set and I was gonna be the PA, I was gonna be the best PA.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna be the PA, right? If I'm gonna come on your set and I'm the production coordinator, I was gonna be the best production coordinator.
Right.
I was gonna be the coordinator. And everything in me was just like, I was showing up 1,000%, no matter how big, no matter how small. And I'm sure there are a couple things that I probably could have done
A little bit better.
a little bit better. Everybody has those moments, but like, I was taking everything in stride and like learning as I was going. And like, even if you didn't know me, if you saw me working, you would see that like, okay, who is that?
Right.
Like, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the people that like didn't know me to like walk in the room and see me moving around and be like, who?
Right.
Who's that?
Right.
What's she doing?
Mm-hmm.
And it literally like just opened up this world of like amazing things for me.
And you know what's crazy though? Because like, obviously, you know that people are watching you, right? And I'm sure that you're probably always aware that like whenever you're doing things, people are always watching you, you know, but did it ever cross your mind like the younger ones are watching me? Because I mean, I was watching you, you know, I have no shame with saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Never. So when there are people like you, and there are other people that were like interns or PAs at the time that like will reach out to me and be like, I remember this moment or this happened. And I'm just like, me? I'm just like, I'm still trying to, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still working and I'm still figuring it out. So I don't, it's always very shocking and like heartwarming to me because I mean, of course, people, of course, ain't gonna reach out to you if they got something bad, you know?
Right.
So when people do reach out, I'm like, damn, I didn't even know that that's how I was making people feel. Like, I wasn't aware that, like, there are people that were, like, that are watching and are like, yo, I'm inspired. I want to do. And I'm like, that is so far from... You know, like, and I don't know, it's weird.
No, and you know what? And it's, I think also the reason why I bring that up is because I think sometimes, like you were saying, because I think I do that too in terms of like, you know, trying to be mindful of the higher up so that way they could give me an opportunity. And it's like, I forget to take a second to be like, oh, wait, there's other people that are below me that are like, you know, looking to me as a point of reference, essentially. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a hair on my lip. I'm like, I feel it, Lord. I feel it. Oh, just take it off. All the lip gloss. Anyway.
You know, this is reminding me of there's a thing where people are like, you never know when your PA one day is going to be your boss.
It's
like,
real.
you just never know. And for me, like right now in my company, my supervising producer, her name is Maisha. Maisha was my first boss when I was full-time at BET.
Wow.
So my first full-time job at BET, Maisha was a line producer. I was her associate, right?
Get out.
And this was like 12 years ago.
Right.
So we're working, we're doing everything together. Me and Maisha always like, I credit her with my fundamentals of production and production management and the reason why I do things a certain way or like say things a certain way. I credit her for that. So we've been keeping in touch and we've always kept in touch over the years. And she moved to North Carolina and she got married and she had kids. And, you know, I'm here and I'm married and I have kids and we're still keeping in touch. Like if I'm in North Carolina, I'm going to her kids' birthday parties. Like, you know, we're friends, right? So she reached out to me last year and she's like, yo, can you write me a reference letter?
Wow.
Right? And I was like, a reference? You want a job?
Right.
She was like, what? Literally her voice, what? And I was like, nah. I was like, listen, this is what's happening. And I was like, this is what's been happening. This is the scale of the company. This is the projects that I'm working on right now. Like, do you want a job? Because we can work. We have work, right? So she's like, yeah, sure. What? So we talk about it. We talk about like what her title's going to be, what rate we can work out to figure it out. And I think she started last year in October and has been rocking out with me since. She ain't going nowhere. I ain't letting her go nowhere.
Right.
So I hope she ain't thinking
Especially
about it.
because you already know the work ethic and everything. And,
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the familial
Everything I learned is from
energy
her.
and
So
everything you've learned. So
I know
yeah.
she's going to pull up.
Uh-huh.
And she, like, I know how she's going to work. I know she's going to get the job done. I know my budgets are going to be balanced.
Right.
I know my crew is going to be hired. I know the call sheets are going, like, I know everything is going to be handled. And it's just where she's like, my boss, I love my boss. I love my, and I'm like, girl, please, let's just not.
Yeah.
But like all of that, it comes around full circle. So you got to like be good to people.
Right.
You got to be good to people because you never know. You never know when they're going to spin the block, right? You never know when that PA is going to be the VP at somebody company about to hire you, or that PA is going to be the CEO somewhere and is going to need you to be helping them out. So,
Right. Full circle. And, you know, it's always interesting too, obviously, with being a Black woman in the industry. And, you know, we're talking about like, obviously like PAs and different levels of opportunities and stuff like that. But I think we should also kind of talk about like the realistic side where it's like, not everyone always wants you to win, especially if you're doing a very good job.
yeah.
And if you're doing a very good job, sometimes that actually puts a bullseye on your back
Yeah.
because you're doing such a good job.
Yeah.
And some people in the room can feel threatened.
Right.
Naturally, I feel like you may have experienced some of those things.
Yeah.
So just kind of share a little bit about that. Like, how were you able to overcome and, you know?
The thing about me is anybody that has known me from day one of meeting me to now, ain't shit changed, right? So it is not on me to change anything because somebody else feels threatened. That I'm dimming no lights. I'm turning nothing down. No, right? And it's unfortunate because like that behavior is, and feeling threatened, like we can all win. We can all be at this table together. We can all do these things together. We can all eat. Like, I'm not taking anything away from you, right? So if you are like, if we're using production terms, I'm a line producer and you're my production manager, right? And you are shining, right? And I see that you're doing a great job. And I'm like, she's on to something, right? I can be threatened and hold you in that position forever, which that happens, right? Where it's like, I'm gonna let you sit over there. Or instead of being threatened about it, you can literally look at it and be like, hold on. Am I building a little mini me here?
Right.
That can do the same things that I'm doing and that can be just as good, that I can help move up or help move around. Because I have a couple years ago, I worked at Apple TV and we were doing this show called The Problem with Jon Stewart. So we did the first 2 seasons and I was a production manager. And we had 2 production managers on the show. And I was like, why aren't we line producers? Like, why are we production managers? But I was like, also like, okay, it's Apple TV. It's Jon Stewart. Like, take the check, girl.
Right.
So I was like, whatever. So I was looking for a coordinator. So I'm calling around. And I call my friend Annie. And I'm like, hey, Annie, do you have anybody? She's like, oh, this guy, Amir. Amir is so good. I love him, blah, 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 blah. Right? So I meet with Amir. We get his resume. And I'm like, hold up now. All right. Like just from the initial conversation, I was like, oh, he's it. Love this. Right. So Amir comes in, he becomes our coordinator again. He's in and I'm talking to my boss, like he is good.
Right.
He is good. So if we're shifting for the next season and roles are shifting and things are shifting, I'm like, he got to shift.
Right.
He got to go up because he is good. I'm not going to be threatened by that if I can put him in a position to be doing other things, to be doing better. So people started calling for like, oh, I need a person here or I need a person there. And I would be like, I don't want to give them up, but this is probably going to be a better opportunity for you. So Amir, let me send you his resume.
That's dope.
Like, sure. And he like, oh, well, he'll talk to me about positions that are coming up. Like, what do you think? Like, can you be a reference? I'm like, first of all, I'm all yes. Never have to ask me. Just tell me what time the call is, where to email at, send them whatever you need. But I'm like, that's how you are going to be able to like grow. And I feel like for me, that's the reason why I've been able to like scale and grow organically, because like I don't mind. We all going.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going, we all going. I'm pulling everybody that I can. I'm taking everybody that I can.
Right.
And I'm not like, we can all exist and coexist and have our own lanes. Everybody has their own like niche or specific thing that makes them special and makes them unique.
Facts.
Right? And we can all live and explore in that and eat. Like we not doing the crabs in a bucket. I'm not pulling you down so I can, not happening.
That's dope. That's dope that you were not selfish with like, oh, this person is good, I'm gonna just keep them here, you know, but you had them in mind to have him excel, whether it was with you or not. That's dope. That talks a lot about your character. And, you know, it's like as you get older, you realize like character is everything in every aspect of life, in every aspect. And so, you know, again, like I said, like that speaks to your character. But you mentioned bringing everybody along, which kind of wants me to transition into Oracle Media and the conception of that. You know, it's dope. I mean, I remember when you like first started like, you know, dropping stuff on Instagram. I was like, oh, she's starting her own production company. Oh, this about to be lit, you know? And I remember like, you know, sending little comments and stuff and DMing and, you know, and I genuinely was excited for you. Like, oh, this is dope. She about to kill it. So, you know, kind of take us on that journey where you were like, okay, you know what? It's time I do my own thing.
Yeah. So like 2019, I'm pregnant. I was working at Essence at the time. My friend Malik, me and him, like, we going back and forth, we talking. And I'm like, I think I want to start a company. Like, I need to start my own production company. He's like, do it. Why not? And I'm like he was saying like it was so easy. And at the time, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I mean, I can't just start a company. Like, what do I do? Who do I talk to? What are you talking about? And that's a whole learning curve in itself. Like, so fine. He puts me on an email with his lawyer and goes, hey, this is JB. She wants to start a company. LLC, help her so she can LLC a company. And I'm like, wait, what, me? And he's like, and you could charge it to my company. And I was like,
oh, that's
what?
dope.
What?
That's
so
amazing.
I'm on the email. The lawyer says how much it is. It was like $500. I was like, $500? You gonna pay for this for me? It's like $500? Oh, you got money. $500? That is crazy. Thank you so much.
So he invested in you. He saw it. He saw it. Yeah.
Puts me on the email. And then a guy hits me about like, okay, well, you need to think of a name for your company. Girl, that delayed me from LLC in the company for about 6 months. I was like, a name?
Really?
I was struggling. I was like, I could not. I'm like, what am I going to name a company? That is so crazy. Like, and I don't know why it took me so long, but I went back to college. So my major is pre-law, my minor is philosophy. So I was obsessed with philosophy and Socrates and Plato and the Oracle of Delphi.
Yeah.
Where you would go to the Oracle of Delphi to ask questions and figure out the things that you needed.
Come on and talk about it now.
Right?
Okay, all right.
And even the smartest man would go to the Oracle of Delphi. Like he knew, but he had to go to the Oracle of Delphi to get the answers, right? So I'm like, boom. Oracle Media.
Nice.
Oracle Media. Like I want to be the place that has the answers. I want you to come to me to answer the questions because we got the answers at Oracle Media.
Dope.
So I was like, boom, Oracle Media. I was like, all right, might be on to something. So we do Oracle Media. And then for a while I didn't do much with the company because I just had Abby. So you can't do but so much. Jesus with a newborn. And I also had a full-time job.
Right.
So like people have always called me to be like, hey, do you have a coordinator? Hey, do you know a producer? Hey, I have this project. Can you? And I would always be like sending like, oh yeah, call this person, call that person, call this person. So the calls were coming in and I started suggesting myself. I was like, I could do it. What you need?
Right.
What's the budget?
Right.
I could do it.
Right.
But the people that were calling me for recommendations because they knew I knew good people to do good work, but they also knew that I did good work. So nobody was ever like, nah, we want somebody else. They were like, okay, what? You can't? And we're like, I was shocked. People was like, what? You can?
Right.
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, what's up? What do you need? So I started doing projects. And then it's a pandemic. We all in the crib. People need virtual productions.
Wow. Come on, pivot.
That's what your girl know how to do. Virtual productions. Why? I've worked in TV.
Yeah.
I've also worked in digital.
Right.
So I'm at BET. I'm also at Essence, right? So Essence, I'm doing digital productions. All we was doing was live streams.
Come on.
It's literally a couple times a month. We are StreamYard. We are vMix. We are live streaming everything.
Right.
So they need virtual productions. I'm like, yup. So it would depend on the scale of the production, whether I would just sit at home with my laptops and do it myself, or I would hire a technical director and I would call them like, hey, can you help me produce this? And then I got let go from Essence. And I was like, ooh, child, what we finna do? Like, it's the pandemic. I don't got no job. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
I ended up I took a job at Apple TV because I was like, I need a check. I got a kid. Like, I can't play these games, right? I'm like, I got a kid. I need this insurance. End up getting pregnant again. I'm just like,
I know, it's all right. It's all I know that old too
another
well.
one, Jesus. Another one. So
Yeah.
I'm like growing my company and people are calling me to do stuff and I'm doing it and I still have a full-time job. So me and my creative producer now, Haley, we were like going through the timeline of Oracle Media, of just Oracle Media. And she's like, I'm like writing, okay, June I did this, July I did this, August I did this project, September I did this project. And I'm looking back at it and I was like, but you had a full-time job. I'm like, how?
Grace.
I don't even like,
The grace of
I
God.
don't even know, right? Like when I look back at how much I was doing and also with a newborn, I'm like, girl, the hell was you thinking? But I was like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. But for me, it was super important that I felt like I needed the tangible work to be able to like put on my website, to be able to put on Instagram. Like I needed, even though people knew I could do it, I was doing it so I could like, I can show you something. Let me give you this Google Drive or let me give you this link to this YouTube, like so you can see the work that I'm doing. And then I stay at Apple TV. I took another job at another company to like develop a documentary, which was the most random thing, but also was the most insightful thing ever because it's, fast forward to the documentary that we just finished producing. I was like, okay, everything I can look back and be like, okay, it made sense. Like it was like if I sit back, it's like I literally was on like a guided path of like, okay, you need to stop here because you got to learn this. Okay, next step, stop here because you got to learn this. Okay, let's just keep driving down the road. Go to that store over there because you need something from that store. Right? Okay, keep driving. Let's go. Let's like everything has been like, it's all things that I'm doing in the company now. And I'm just like, what? So I quit.
Like it all added up to make you,
all
to
added
position
up. And
you.
I'm like, yo, this is wild.
Yeah.
Right? So eventually I'm like, this too much. I was doing too much Oracle Media. I just couldn't handle how much stuff was coming in for Oracle Media and a full-time job. And I was like, also, Jordan, like, you don't even need the full-time job. Like, you want the check just because it's like, we're adults.
Right.
Mortgage, diapers, formula. It's expensive, right? Daycare.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like I wanted the check and I wanted the every 2 weeks of knowing that it was going to drop in my bank account, but I didn't really need it. I wanted the safety net to have it to like know that it's there.
Yeah.
But I didn't really need it, right? So I was like, F it, I'm going to quit. I quit.
And that's when everything just blossomed.
Bop,
Wow.
bop. I'm like,
Woo.
what do you... And I'm looking around like...
When you start to talk about this now, I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think you're a believer. I'm pretty sure you are. And so that right there, because everything that you have said that happened that pretty much aligned you for your entrepreneurship, it just all sounded like this what you were supposed to be doing.
Let me tell you something.
And so we just need to talk about how God just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Place those pieces for you for you to just blossom, and he was just waiting for you to be like, yes.
So I feel like it's been like a journey in like faith and lessons, right? So even when I would be like, I hate this job, I want to quit, I could always tell by like how I felt. So it was one job I was working at Nickelodeon. I took a production clerk job. Hated it. Hated it. The only thing I liked was the girl that sat beside me, Janae, my little Nene, my little chicken nugget. Me and her was besties, okay? We was cool in the office. And I was like, oh, I just can't. I can't. Like, I was getting up to go to work every morning. I was like, I'm kicking. I'm like, I just don't want to do it. And I was like, I need to quit. So I've quit 2 jobs in my life, Nickelodeon and Words and Pictures. So I'm getting ready to send my email, and I'm like, I prayed about it, and I was like, Lord, I don't know. I was like, I just feel like this is what I need to be doing. And I was like, I'm going to just trust that if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, then this is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So I send the email, and I just feel this like whoosh of like peace.
Yeah.
Because you think you quit a job, you're like, what's next? Where I'm going to go?
Yeah.
Like all the anxiousness that you think would come, and it was like,
You just let go of that energy.
I was
You
like,
shut it.
I heard you.
Right.
I was like, heard you.
Right.
I quit. I send my email. I get on Facebook. I go in the Who You Know production Facebook group, and I'm like, hey, I'm Jordan, looking for coordinator or production manager work. Like, let me know if y'all have anything. Stephanie Donovan, who's at Essence and knew me from BET, goes, are you really looking for work? Within a week.
What?
I'm at Essence, full-time, making double what I was making at Nickelodeon. Benefits, double the salary.
It's crazy.
And like doing work that I enjoyed and wanted to be doing. So I was like, heard you. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, God been holding me down, okay?
Yeah.
But I also have been like, I'm very trusting and I'm very faithful. And because of that, I'm like, my path is directed. Like my steps have literally been purposefully ordered. And I don't fight it, right? So if it feels wrong, then I know it's not where I'm supposed to be, and I'm not gonna stay there.
Right.
Right? And I feel like I have that like discernment and that special connection to be like, it ain't
and
right.
trust within yourself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in a situation like that, somebody else could definitely handle it where it's like, oh my God, but I'm at Nickelodeon. I hate it, but I'm at Nickelodeon. So caught up on the big name, not realizing that if you would just let it go.
Just let it go.
Something bigger is, woo, that's a testimony right there.
Even
what?
this project that I'm working,
That's
that I just
amazing.
finished working on, it was like something that was happening. And I was like, oh, I just can't. And I was frustrated. And I'm in the car and I'm on the phone. And I was like, I've done all I could do. I was literally in the car. I was like, I have done every single thing that I can do. And I was like, listen, you got it, big dog. I said, you got it, big dog. Because I can't, like, because I was stressing myself out.
I'm just going to get some of that grease and bathe myself in it real quick.
I'm in the car and I'm stressed and I'm like,
awesome.
You got it. I was like, I can't do nothing. I've done everything that I can do. So you got it. It's yours. It's yours, God. I believe it. I believe you ain't brought me this far to be like, you know. The next day at 3, I was waiting for like, I was waiting for a contract or something. It was like a big contract and I'm like, I'm going back and forth with these negotiations and it was a lot. The next day at like 3 p.m., I'm like getting ready to go to this event. Ping, email, please find the attached agreement for your signature and we'll route it for execution. I'm like,
Woo. See, the thing is with that too, is because like literally all the things that we, are like, I guess, taught, right? In church, in our faith as believers, like that right there is another testimony because it's like, again, if you just surrender it all to me, you know what I mean? Like all things are working for your good. And it's like, and so for you to like share these different moments, even that in itself is encouraging. And that's why, I mean, I don't know if you sat down and told your story before, but I'm glad you're doing it now because, again, like the whole purpose of this show is for people to be able to watch and take something away. And so I just hope that this bless somebody.
Okay.
But, it's just like, this goosebumps, y'all. I got the goosebumps. What did he say? Maybe not Diddy right now. But anyway, let me stop playing. Oh, Lord, did he know? Did he know? All right. But yeah. Oh, man. I just love it. I love it. I love it. Y'all feel the energy in the room? Production team, I feel it? Okay. Y'all feel the vibe check. But it's just, honestly, on a serious note, it's just beautiful to hear you express that, just actively. Because honestly, just looking at your story, hearing you talk about it, obviously more in depth, it's just encouraging and so like, oh my God, we can do it, y'all.
We can.
So I guess take us, on that journey of being the boss.
Yeah.
And making sure everybody in the room is brown and black. I just want to drive that in again.
Listen. Being the boss comes with a lot. But again, it goes back to like everything I've done of like having to manage teams and manage PAs. And like I had a situation that when I was at my job at Apple TV and it was like a lot of things were going on and we kept having a bunch of HR meetings and like prepping us for like how to talk to your team, how to manage a team. And even at Viacom, they used to have these like courses that you could sign up for, like leadership courses, like how to be a good leader or like leading with improv and like how to use that to be able to like hold conversations and talk and go back and forth. So like being the boss now, I'm literally using all of those like nuggets from those times. And then also I now understand my responsibility and like just my responsibility as a leader and with my team and knowing that I craft the narrative for my team. I set the tone for my team. I set the energy for my team. And for me, it's important that like I give people opportunities that look like me, right? So women, Black people. So I work and have amassed a network of amazing Black creatives over the years where there are Black DPs that if I'm going to be on it, my Black DP is going to be on it.
Right.
It's camera operators, there are sound operators, assistant camera operators, assistant directors. Like I just am very purposeful about curating the room with people who are Black and brown and making content. And I don't really think I realized it until like last year's people started walking on set being like, what? And we're like, it was like a spectacle.
Wow.
To walk on set and see
everybody.
And people that have been like working in the industry for years.
Wow.
Are like, I've never seen this before.
It's trailblazing.
And it's so efficient. And you guys are on time. And it's so professional. And I was like, duh. Are we not? Should we not be?
Right.
So it's interesting because at the same time, it's like, it's great that people are saying that, but then it's also like a little like, damn.
It's disappointing that they're saying it, yeah.
Like that's how y'all think we pulling up on CP time?
Right.
Nothing is going to be on time. We're going to be unprofessional. We're going to be, shooting dice in a corner while we, you know what I'm saying, on set. So the fact that, like, that could even be the narrative is something that we have to, like, that we're, and I'm happy to be able to shift it, right? And for people to be able to come and see the amazing people that I work with and that we aren't just, like, a little sprinkle of pepper on set. Because usually that's the case. Like, we the little sprinkle of pepper or we're, just to make sure that you hit your quota of equality.
Yeah.
Right? And no. We surpassing the equality quota.
There's like this saying where it's like, for Black people, especially women, it's like you have to be twice as good, twice as bad, just so that you can get to the place where they're like, oh, right. You know what I mean? Right. Whereas the expectation, obviously, if it's an all white set, or somewhat diverse set, but majority are still white, it's like, oh yeah, they're going to be professional and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, so I'm glad that what you're doing, again, like I said, is trailblazing, because that's one of the things too that I've admired. Like, you've always been about, your business. You've hired me for one or two things, as a PA, and like it's always been correct. You know what I'm saying? And so and that right there, in the industry, how you do things, it sets the tone for other opportunities and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very happy that you're doing this. Obviously, there's been other Black-owned, editorial companies and production companies and things of the sort, but it's not too many. It's not. You can literally count, on your fingers and stuff like that. And I just also too want you to speak a little bit more about the comfortability of working with people who look like you, who have the same cultural background, who can identify with what you're talking about, and you know what I'm saying? And you're still getting the work done,
right?
But it feels a little bit like home. So I just kind of want you to, share about that. Like, what is the atmosphere like? I haven't been on the Oracle Media set, but by the grace of God.
Come on, Jesus.
Okay? We're going to speak it.
Yeah.
But what is that atmosphere like? That Essence is like, okay, we need Oracle. That, Hello Beautiful is like, we need Oracle, So what is that atmosphere like?
So we have a good time, right? The playlist are popping. Get you a black set because the music gonna be good. The playlist is popping.
Right.
The food is also amazing. Okay. That's one thing I believe in. I believe in a good meal.
Yes.
And some good music.
Yes.
Okay. So when we're on the sets and like, when you walk into a set and you feel like you see your people, you're not guarded. You don't have to think about whether you should code switch or act a certain way or move a certain way or look a certain way. Nobody's expecting that. We're expecting you to come on set and be you. So we allow people the vulnerability, the comfortability to come on set and be themselves amongst their people. And it's refreshing, right? Like we did, I Went Digital just did Hello Beautiful Mountain Noir. They did a Women to Know Hollywood execs cover.
Right.
So it was like 5 women that like are all Hollywood execs. They work at these big companies. And like some of the feedback that I got was, I've never felt so comfortable like this on set. And they aren't women that are like usually in front of the camera. And they were like, you made us feel so comfortable. You made us feel so special. And it was just so easy to be able to do what we're doing. And a lot of times, like for some people, and especially if you aren't comfortable being in front of the camera, when the camera turns on and you are already uncomfortable and in a room of people that are just looking at you, or a room of people who could just care less about what you're doing anyways, that'll make you want to loosen up.
No.
And do, like, you're going to be even more cagey. You're going to be even more stuck. And that's not what we're trying to do. Like, I want to work with people that want to do more than just come collect a check and just press record.
Right.
Anybody could do that. Right? Any camera operator can come and they can just press record. But when you care about the content that you're creating, you work differently. You work differently. When it's something that you're passionate about, and that don't even got to be work, right? Like, you put a different drive into something that you are passionate about, and that's just naturally. So I want to work with people who are passionate about content. They're passionate about what they do, or what they do and what we're doing.
Right. You talked about having Abby, transitioning into, entrepreneurship, but you made it happen.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm a mom too, so I can identify with still trying to pursue your goals and your dreams, not just for yourself, but to let her know you can do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure when she hears this story about everything that you did, and, if there's a moment where she ever questions if I can, she could refer to that and be like, of course I can.
Yeah.
So take us through that work-life balance with being a mom, going into motherhood, but still pursuing your passions. How was that?
I'm going to just say I would be absolutely nothing, and it would not be possible without my husband.
Of course. Let's give it up for hubby.
Let's
give it up for hubby.
Okay.
Having a partner is a big deal. The right partner at that.
When the Lord built that man,
Wow.
when he made that one, I was like, Jordan. Okay, I was like, huh, thank you, Father God.
Right.
Okay, because the setup in our house is not traditional. It's not traditional to society where it's like the woman has the kids and stays at home and makes the meals and the man goes to work with his briefcase every morning and he comes home and you have a hot plate on the, we work together so well. We pivot together. We talk. We communicate because having children in general just changes the dynamics. It changes a lot. But being able to have a husband that is so active and present and willing to negotiate and willing to bend, it has been life-saving. So it allows me to be able to go be on set for 2 days. And people sometimes are shocked when they're like, where are your kids? I'm like, with their dad.
Right.
And they're like, what? He fine. They're having a ball, a great time. So it allows me to be able to move around the way that I need to move around, and like we work it out, we balance it out. So we go through the schedule, we know what the schedule is, right? And I know that when mommy get off that plane,
right,
by Oracle Media, hey mommy,
boundaries.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So I know when I get off that plane, my kids, they don't care that I was on a 12 or 14-hour set. They're like, where you been at? Hey, girl.
Right.
We're in your face. We're in, we're in your face and space. But another thing is I feel like it's like things expand when you have children. Like time expands, your patience expands, your grace expands, and you can do so much more than you ever thought was possible with time. Because like think about you yourself at like 2021, you just by yourself, you're like, oh, exhausted. Okay. Can't do it.
Yep.
What? Wash a dish? Oh my gosh, I will wait till tomorrow. The laundry? Oh, what are you talking about? I'm not doing it. Everything was like, well, I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
It's just not enough time. 2021, and it ain't nobody but you in your apartment with the dishes that you messing up, the clothes that you wore that are dirty. And then suddenly you look up and it's you, a husband, some kids. The house is much bigger. It's much more clothes. It's many more people to feed.
The same amount of hours.
It's
the same amount of hours.
And it's still only 24 hours.
Yep.
In the day. Still only 7 days a week. Still only 365 days in a year. And some way, somehow,
made it happen.
You made it happen and you make it happen. So I think I'm very happy that people can look at me and see that it is possible, because that could not be the norm. And it can also be not be the norm of like, people are like, well, I mean, I chose. I had to choose. It was my career or it was have kids.
You chose the career.
And I chose. I chose the career. I chose. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm single. And it's like...
It's heartbreaking, actually.
It is heartbreaking.
It's very heartbreaking, yeah.
Because you don't have to choose.
You don't.
You don't have to choose.
Both are extremely rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't have to choose. Like you can be a mom.
Yeah.
You can be a business owner. You can be a wife. You can be a sister, cousin. Like,
it's like you have to be willing to be stretched.
Yeah.
But then again, have the right partner to be able to support you through that and to understand.
Very true.
So kudos to hubby for sure, for, allowing you to pursue your passions and everything. And I mean, I can identify with that. So it's amazing.
Hubby works for Oracle Media.
Okay, come on.
So let me tell you, you want another faith lesson?
Here we go.
Let me tell you something. We're in Jersey. My husband is working in Brooklyn. And he's traveling back and forth every day, and he hates it. Hates it, right? And I'm like, I'm doing Oracle Media stuff. I still have my full-time job. And I'm like, and Abby was 1.5, well, maybe going on 2. So he's like, he's just complaining every single day. And I'm like, yo, just quit. He's like, what? I was like, listen, you're not happy.
Right.
Right? You're not happy. I'm making enough that we're okay. We'll figure it out. It's going to be fine. We're going to figure it out. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I promise you, we're going to figure it out. He quits. So he quits. And a couple weeks after he quits, guess who's pregnant again?
You told him to stay home. He said, I'm home.
He said, I'm home. Okay?
Yeah.
He quits. Now I'm pregnant again. I'm like, all right. But then I realized, well, hold up. We might be on to something here because we were paying $1,700 a month for daycare for Abigail.
Right. Whew.
Even with both of us working full-time jobs and me doing Oracle Media, there was no way that I was going to be able, or that we were going to be able to afford our mortgage and an additional $2,400 a month on top of the mortgage.
Right.
And diapers for 2 kids, and formula for 2 kids, and food for 2 kids, and whatever extra. God forbid you want to put them in a swimming lesson.
Right.
Or a little T-ball or something,
Right.
you know, something that like costs extra money. There was no way we were going to do it. So I was like, all right, cool. I said, you know what? We not going to put this baby in daycare. Right? Like, you're going to be home. We're going to have this baby. And he stayed home with Alex for the first year. The business is growing, right? So the business is growing. And I look around and I'm getting so many projects that like I can't keep up with paying people. I can't keep up. It's all too fast. It's all too much. I'm being pulled in different directions. So we sit down, talk about it, sign him in the QuickBooks, give him his own. I was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make an email address. All the invoices and stuff are going to go straight to you. You can put the information in QuickBooks, collect everybody's W-9s, invoices, set up a system, blah, blah. The past 2 years, his full-time job has been Oracle Media.
Look at God.
So he still is, and for me, you know, it was important for me too because like my husband is the man, right? And I'm like, you finna feel like the man. So it was important for us to be able to set up a structure where like you're making your own money, right? You're doing like, and I never wanted him to feel like less than or anything because he was home and I don't even think he ever felt like that. And I'll be taking on people's emotions a lot. I'm in therapy, so I'm working through it.
It's all right.
So I'm like, he started working. He's working for the company for the past 2 years. Like they joke and call him Big Money T. And they're like Money Bags T, because I don't touch the money.
Right.
I don't care to touch the money.
Right.
It all flows through him. So if you got to get paid, holla at him.
Okay.
If I got to get paid, I got to. Hello? I'm like, he's like, where am I at on the list payroll this week? He's like, last. I'm like, God, last? You sure? He's like, yeah, everybody else first.
Right.
I was like,
Take
dang.
care of house.
I was like, that's crazy. Last on the list. I own this company. What you mean? And he's like, shut up.
Well, you know what? It's beautiful, you know, to hear that he works for the company too, because it's like, it just speaks to, like you said, y'all partnership and how you guys, you know, work well together. So I'm curious, how did y'all meet?
Well,
Well, you found him at. Okay.
I am at my baby daddy or whatever. So I grew up in Washington, North Carolina. It's a very cute little small town. The 252 is the zip code. Is the zip or area? Area code 252. And my husband is a few years older than me. He's like 8 years older than me.
Okay.
So I was working at my first job, Bojangles. Shout out to Bojangles, okay? So I'm at Bojangles. I'm in a drive-thru. He used to always come through the drive-thru all the time. And he would pay with his credit card, and his name is Tamario. And I was like, that is such a cool name. Wow, love your name, bro. So he comes to the drive-thru one day, and a friend of ours, Nakia, so she's also working there. So she's, I guess, taking orders, I'm making orders, whatever. So she's like, hey, T, can you go to the store for me? Go get me some candy from the store and like, just bring it back. And I like jump in the window, just being me at 16. I was like, hey. I was like, I know you don't know me, but if you bring me back a Hershey bar with almonds, I promise I'll be your best friend for the rest of your life. Please, just bring me back some chocolate. And he was like, who the hell? He was looking at me like, who the hell is this little girl? And I was like, please. But he brought me back the Hershey bar. And I was like, yes, thank you so much. So that was our like introduction to each other and me working at Bojangles. So like over the years, some way, somehow, my husband is the guy that like you meet that you want to just like spill your whole life to.
Wow.
Right?
He's a safe space.
Oh my gosh. A safe space for everybody. Like, they're like, this is happening at work. My boyfriend said this. My mom said that. My dad did it. Like, he is like a little therapist. Everybody just on the phone, just telling him all day everything. But that was who he was to me, right? So it would be like, oh my gosh. So I got fired from Bojangles. I was like, they fired me. It's my day off. They made me come all the way here. And he's like, Jordan, what? And he was like, how you get fired on your day off? I was like, I don't know, but they fired me. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
So we like became friends over the years, and we're just like, that's literally my, like, as a guy, that was one of my best guy friends. And it was always extremely platonic. Like, that was my homie. He would come and get a Thanksgiving plate from the house.
Nice.
Like,
yeah.
We were just cool. And then fast forward to like 10 or 12 years later, I don't know if it was, I guess 10 or 12 years later. It was a while. Like, it was. Because I met when I was 16 and we started dating when I was like 27, 28. So fast forward, one thing led to another. And then it was like one day a switch turns on your brain and you like, hey, friend.
Right.
Right? So it go from me like, what's up? Like, this the homie. And then like, it was like literally, it was like a pop in a brain. It was like, whoa. Hold up a second. So we started dating. He was living in North Carolina. I was still in New York. And when we first started dating, one of the things that he hated was how much I traveled for work. And one day we had a very specific conversation. And he was like, well, what does this look like? If we get married one day and we have kids, what am I supposed to do? Just be FaceTiming them all the time? Mommy's at work or mommy's here and I'm doing this and doing that. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm not quitting my job. I'm like, this is what I love doing this. I'm not going to change my job. So he was like, I don't know. I don't know if I could, I don't know what this, like, he hated it. Couldn't stand it. Right now, he's like, yeah, babe, wherever you got to go. How long are you going to be there? You're fine? Go ahead, spend an extra day if you need to.
Right.
Go ahead. And I'm like, I be reminding him, I was like, yo, you remember, right? That back then you was like, I didn't know if you were gonna be able to do this. And he's like, shut up. And I was like, you was giving me a hard time. So we dating for like 3 years and I get pregnant. He moves to New York. We have the baby. We get married, have another baby. Here we are.
That's beautiful. Let's give it up for that. Okay.
We love love. It's so cute.
Zested.
Yeah.
And you actually said it. Because what did you say? You told him, I'll be your best friend for the rest of your life?
Yeah, they're going to be your best friend. Just bring me the Hershey bar.
Words
Okay?
got power.
They do.
Words got power.
Like, I'll be your best friend forever.
We are coming near the end. So I have to ask you, you have a big project that is coming out on Hulu April 22nd. Please tell us about Hip Hop at the White House.
Okay, y'all. Hip Hop in the White House. Like, I just can't even believe that I'm like talking about a project that's going to be on Hulu.
Yes.
That my company produced. And it's a big thing.
You did it, Jordan.
I just, wow. It's craziness. Like, I don't know. So it is a very dope documentary about the relationship between hip hop and the White House over the span of 50 years. So initially we started taping it last year during like Hip Hop 50s.
The 50s,
Hip Hop 50 content, Hip Hop 50. And then it was like, wait a minute, it's a little political. This is a little, I don't know. So it was like never gonna see the light of day. So we started taping in April. It was supposed to be like a 5-part docuseries that was like a digital series somewhere. And I was like, I remember seeing the first edit and I was like, we're on to something. I was like, this is good. And I was like, this deserves to live beyond a digital series. Like, people need to see this. This is good, right? But that wasn't my call to make. So we had it edited, the 5-part series, and they're like, nope. So it gets canned. And then I randomly get a call at the end of the year last year. We going to Hulu. And I'm like, who? What? Hip Hop in the White House. I'm like, huh? Hulu? I thought this wasn't happening. How do we go from this is not happening to Hulu?
Right.
Right? So we picked back up this year, made some edits, did some reshoots, like tweaked a couple things to make it ready for Hulu. But again, I was ready for Hulu. So the way we were shooting it last year, shout out to my DP, Kev Spence, we was shooting that thing like we was shooting a feature film. Just because you tell me it's going to be on Hulu don't mean I'm pulling up with the iPhone camera. You know what I'm saying? We shot it on red Komodos, 6K. You know what I'm saying? Grip, gaffer, we everything is lit, gorgeous, right? So we were already meeting the Hulu QC quality standards and didn't even know that we was doing that.
Wow.
So when it came time to deliver, I've worked at Apple TV before. I've worked at networks before, so I know how to deliver to a network. So I'm like, what's up? Let's deliver. So we got to deliver. We got to QC. We got to clear the footage. Like, it became this whole beast this year. And we started, we did our reshoots and taping February 14th, 15th, and 16th in Atlanta. And then the following week, we shot in New York. And we finished the edit and delivered to Hulu in March, which like March 29th. And they did give us like a little bit of a like grace for extension. But the scale of what we delivered and the time in which we delivered is unheard of. But like, don't tempt me with a good time.
Right.
Because you need me to do what? Got it. You want to deliver it when? Sure. What's the date? Yes. So I think a lot of people, when it was going to be a digital series, we weren't clearing footage because like, oh, it's just going to live on the internet. Somebody, nobody cares about.
Right.
But now it was like, no, clear it. So I had to bring in production counsel, fair use counsel, league. Like, I had to bring in all these people. So my production counsel, I called her and I was like, hey, I was like, I got this project. We got 2 weeks to clear everything. We had like, for reference, the doc is 57 minutes. We have about over 180 things from Getty that's in the doc. We have stuff that's in there from AP. We have, it's probably at least 60% archival, right? And I called her and I was like, hey, this is what I need. She was like, okay, well, this is the rate. I can try it, blah, blah, blah. So we get done and she says, Jordan, I just want to say to you, when you called me, I was like, there is no way she's going to finish this on time.
Wow.
There is no way she's going to deliver. There is absolutely no way she's going to finish on time. And she was like, you have amazed me. She was like, I have never seen anything like this. And she was like, you've been calm, you've been pulled. She's like, I knew you were not going to finish. I was like, I don't know why I didn't know that.
Right.
I knew I had a date. Just tell me when it's due. And it's going to get done. So April 22nd is going to be on Hulu. I'm excited for people to see it. It's like, it's nerve-wracking a little bit because it's like my little baby that I love and I think is great, right? And then, you love something you think is great and somebody else is like, girl, boo, tomatoes, throw it in the trash, hate it. So
I'm sure it's going to be great because clearly Hulu was like, we need the content.
Hulu was like, we need
amazing.
The content.
This is amazing. Oracle Media, y'all.
Oracle Media.
Jordan Benston, she took us through her journey. You saw from where she started to where she is now. I'm just grateful that you shared the story with us here today at Petals of Positivity.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for participating and saying yes. I feel like whenever I hit you up, you kind of never say no. So thank you for saying yes.
That's another thing I'm also working through in therapy.
But wait, hold on.
Because there's somebody's like,
I know you're working on that, but wait.
I'm in therapy and they're like, Jordan, you know that you can say no, right? And I'm like, but can I?
Well, please just continue to keep me that yes box.
She's like, say yes to me.
I'm just saying, boundaries and everything.
Boundaries.
But no, on a serious note, again, like I said, I appreciate it. Again, just to wrap things up, you have always kept me in mind. And so I keep you in mind because you've kept me in mind. And that's just me coming from a place of gratitude because not everyone does that. And it's not to be taken lightly or for granted. So I appreciate it. So I thank you for coming here today. Any parting words of encouragement for anybody listening?
Well, I mean, first of all, congratulations to you because
Thank you.
So cute. It's like a very cute professional setup in here, guys.
It.
There's like lights and cameras and like a crew.
Yes.
This is like real deal.
This is real deal. A vision that I said, no, I'm not going to let it go because God gave it to me for a reason. He put it in my belly and I'm going to, give birth to it. So I'm happy.
So, I think my words are just, just do it. Right? Like, if it's something that you love, it's something that you feel passionate about, it's like in your brain, in your sleep, you in a shower. For sure. Like, when it's something that you're supposed to be doing. It does not leave. It does not go away. You randomly have a thought about it and you randomly have another thought. Do it. Because what's the worst is going to happen? Right?
It's going to
do it. Right.
It's going to P.O.P.
It's going to P.O.P. Okay? So that would be my word. Just like...
Yeah.
Just do it. Just jump. Just take that leap of faith. Believe in yourself. Because you got to believe in yourself first, right? Because a lot of times we be telling ourselves no before anybody else says no. Ain't nobody even told you no. You're like, well, I can't.
They weren't even thinking
Said
no.
Who?
Yeah.
You?
Now you got that energy of no on you.
Now you got that.
And then they say no.
Wash that no energy off.
Right. Yep.
Please, let's get rid of her. Okay? Wash off that no energy.
Right.
You can do it.
Well, folks, this is episode 3, Hustle and Drive with JB Jordan Benston, CEO of Oracle Media. Thank you for tuning in.